wings, 2 wings with which he flies in paradise. A seventh lesson is the clear lesson, which is that religion is more precious than the homeland. Religion is more precious than the homeland, more precious than family, more precious than kinship, more precious than tribalism, more precious than the tribe. And you see the companions of the Prophet, may God bless him and grant him peace, left Mecca, which is the holiest of God's lands and the most beloved of God's lands to God and to his messenger, and it is their homeland and the most beloved of lands to them, and they left it. Why did they leave it? To preserve their religion, to flee with their religion, to be saved from being tempted in their religion. O people of goodness, in our days we need to reflect on this lesson, a great need. Because we now live in a time in which people are divided into homelands, into countries, into states, and the first affiliation that a person is given in the media, in education, and in culture is affiliation to what? Yes, to the point that this is the reality of belonging to the state and to the homeland. This has raised many problems and many suspicions. I would almost say that 3/4 of the contemporary intellectual problems in the Islamic situation are due to this exchange that has occurred between the sanctity of religion and the sanctity of the homeland. I mean, a very simple example. Now, how many times in your life have you heard about renewing religious discourse? How many times have you ever heard about renewing national discourse? Never, because now it has become required for religion to adapt to the interests of the homeland, to the interests of the state, of course in our countries, to the interests of the authority, to the interests of the ruler. But even if we have it, we will forget now that we have a crisis, even if the one who rules us is just, but within a secular national framework, which is more sacred in the conscience of the Muslim religion or homeland. I mean, now, if we find our child in a Western country and the Western country is really interested in providing services to its citizens, and it is a secular state that does not differentiate between citizens, which is more sacred to the Muslim religion or homeland, religion should be a priority. But the truth is the sanctity of the nation has become so inflated in our minds that it has surpassed religion. Simply put, now you find strong doubts surrounding the issue of apostasy. They ask, why kill the apostate? Isn't this a matter of personal choice, a form of personal freedom? He's convinced that Islam isn't good. He's convinced that Christianity isn't good. There should be freedom of religion, freedom of thought, freedom of expression. Therefore, the punishment for apostasy raises problems for many people. But if someone is told that high treason or spying for the enemy is punishable by death, you find this punishment acceptable. So, why is this rejected and this accepted? Why didn't it occur to them that this spy was exercising his natural right to think? As an Egyptian, for example, I found that Israel is a democratic state and a state with human rights. I am free whether I am right or wrong, misguided or not. The point is, I have personal freedom, and I see that it is in Egypt's best interest to be under American hegemony or Israeli hegemony, or under any other Saudi hegemony, even if it's not important now. But if I were caught spying for another country and sentenced for high treason and execution, you wouldn't find this objectionable. Why? Why isn't this considered freedom of opinion, thought, expression, and stance? Because the sanctity of the homeland and the sanctity of the state are no longer in question. They are now considered indisputable. Therefore, execution or killing, if we want to simplify things, apostasy from loyalty to the homeland and belonging to the homeland, let